media unfair to OBJ?
No, they're not. And I understand what that connotation, what it means in terms of, like, is it perfect treatment? No. Is it unfair treatment? No. Is it ideal? No. This is a guy that has to understand the machinery that he's dealing with, which is the media. Grandma always says, once you call for attention, you can't hang up, baby. And there was a time when you wanted attention. I was that type of player. I know what it is.
Yep.
You know,
Everybody
wanted it. I wanted the smoke that came with it. And then some of my teammates who are a little more responsible, who were a little more foresight, were like, that comes at a cost. And that's going to come with exaggeration to the negative things you do when they occur. And you just got to know that. But when it's good, it's great. I'm going to say this. It's natural to want attention, but be careful when that warps into you needing approval. And I learned that the right and hard way.
Yeah.
When you start talking about all this noise and you start to parse through that and start to need approval, why don't they allow me? They do. They are witnessing you. They're watching you. Some are criticizing you. Many are supporting you. But once you start going through that and start to look at the opposites, those who say the cons against you, and start needing that approval, you're going to get lost in your own and be a prisoner of your own success. That's where he is.
And I think, to OBJ's point, you have to be willing to accept how much you put yourself out there, right, on the social media side. So, for guys like OBJ, Cam Newton, I think social media has driven our younger athletes to be more focused on their brand than maybe their respective sport first, right? Because you can still work hard and not be all in, right, with your teammates, right? To me, one of the guys that I got a chance to be around, Drew Brees, who was all in and was a leader on the field. I used to try to beat him into the locker rooms, into the facilities my rookie year. I would show up at 6 a.m. It'd be one car in the parking lot. It'd be Drew's car. And so to that point, what I'm making is that you can be all in and still not give the proper production on the field. But it also, there's going to have to be some give and take as well. I guess what I'm trying to do.
I mean, for me, it's like, everybody wants the attention. You have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And that, because you have 13 million followers on Instagram, and that's because of the way the media has treated you. And I would say it's more good than bad.
Of course.
When you lose and you put yourself out there, then it's going to be, you just have to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, they're talking bad about me. That doesn't mean they don't like you.
Right.
They're just stating what they perceive to be the facts. And I said this, when you need other people to validate how you feel about yourself, I don't care how you feel about me. I might not like that you're criticizing me, but that's not going to control how I go about my day and how I feel.
Yeah.
And so when the media treats you well, it's great. You love them. But when they say something negative about you, it's, oh, what are they? No, you just got to deal with both. You got to take the good with the bad.
He says he wants to keep his personal life. I don't really buy it.
Yeah.
And I'll say this because he's on the cover of GQ magazine, and he's addressing y'all know far better than I do. No, you don't, because I'm a journalist too. So we both know. We both know. These things are negotiated in terms of when you're on the cover of a magazine, the questions that are going to be asked, the topics that are going to be addressed. That's all decided beforehand.
Right.
He's talking about his sexuality and how websites and stuff treat. He's just feeding the machine more. There's going to be more conversation. And so I don't buy this that, oh, I'm unfairly treated. I want to keep my private life. No. You just did an interview that gave everybody the reason, the justification to talk about your private life and virtually anything they want to talk about you.
Say it, man. A lot of this is selective perception. A lot of this is psychology 101. What are you paying attention to? What are you concerned with? We are all guilty of this one. Trust me. You put a post up there, get 10,000 likes. You got 38 people hating on it.
Yeah.
You got 10,000 people saying, I love this.
Yeah.
And guess what you will respond to?
The 38.
One of them 38s. What a 38? Like, what's up, dog? Let's go to war. And it's crazy. We all get caught up in this. Odell needs to understand. Ain't that true?
I do that all the time.
When it's great,
I do the same
it's
thing.
sweeter, bro. Odell is an amazing dude. I love Odell as a person and what I've heard of him as a teammate. I got one example. ESPYs, a few years ago, I'm sitting there working. Odell, when he comes in, it's kind of LeBron-like. You see the smoke and the storm and the dust kick up and the
crowd of
entourage.
people.
The crowd, everything changes. It's a climate change.
Yeah.
And then he walks through. And then my daughter, she loves sports. She's a track athlete at UConn. One player sits at the top of that pyramid, OBJ. I'm like, I am not going through that firestorm to go get OBJ's attention. It may not happen. You know what? Long story short, lock eyes. He's like, what's up, man? How you doing? My daughter, man, you make her life. People pushing him. Literally, publicists, go, Odell. He's like, got to give him a moment. Took a picture of my daughter. This is something that he does countless in terms of what he's done for his teammates and looking out. But he has to understand, with the good comes the bad, and they're going to pour it on heavy when things are not in their favor.
And people always ask me, if you could go back and change one thing about your career, what would that be? The one thing I would go back and change is paying attention to too much to what I thought people thought about me. Because the more I bought into it, the more it affected me. And the times where it was bad, it was 10 times bad because I allowed it to live through me, right? And it came out on the football field or at home. I was one of the worst people to be around. So that's why I always tell guys is football is what you do. It's not who you are. Yeah. And the faster you can understand that, the faster you just won't care about the things that are people saying about you, because most of the time, whoever's writing those negative comments about you, they have never been in your shoes. And that's why you shouldn't care.
He's 25 years old.
26, I think.
He has a lot of maturing to do. And as he matures, he will be a different person in a few years than he is today.
Yep.
These things, some of them will still affect him and maybe bother him, because nobody wants to be disliked, that's for sure.
Hell no.
But it won't affect him to where he's talking about it in interviews anymore.
Yeah.
Because he knows, as he matures, he knows, okay, I've been in the league 8 years now. I can't please everybody. Yeah. I can't satisfy everybody. And so he'll mature from that perspective, and you'll see a different person. But when you're young and you come in, Reggie's probably one of the few people, had social media been around when he got to the league, would have had the type of recognition and acclaim that OBJ had. He's one of the few.
Right.
And so luckily it wasn't around, but you take the good with the bad, man. Like what you said, your daughter wanted that picture, as my girls do as well, because of what the media has built him up to be. And you like that adulation and that recognition.
Take that
so
love.
Deal with don't worry about the 38 dislikes in the back. That is the truth.
You know, I want to be careful how I say this, but I think it was the Unabomber talked about how technology and the technological advances were destroying our society. And if you watch this show, one of the themes that I have going is like, hey, man, this social media thing is an invention that I don't think we fully understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I go back to people used to keep diaries, their personal thoughts to themselves. Yep. And now I don't know if anybody does it because it's just your Twitter thread is your diary. Yeah. And now you're giving your most inner thoughts and for other people to pass judgment on. And some of this stuff should just remain private.
Hey, Whitlock, that was a great line when you said that. Here's the thing that I want him to understand, and I learned this the hard way.
Through your counseling.
Through my... Bruh, we all played the game.
Yeah.
But there's a game within the game that Odell is playing, and it's called the fame game. And I bring up this example because I always use this to give me clarity and to humble me. Tom Hanks, who has this trailer out right now, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he's probably the biggest actor in the world, right? Last time you heard any smoke about Tom Hanks, last time TMZ followed him out of the restaurant, last time all this dust kicks up when Tom Hanks is in the building. You know why? Because he's not playing that game within that game. He's saying, I'm playing the production game. Movie out, movie out, movie out. There are people who are lesser than him who want to play the game within the game and get all this attention about him. And it brings me to this, to understand that once you choose to play that other game, you got to know the rules of that game. Yeah. It's not just how many catches, how many touchdowns.
Playing by everybody's rules, not just your rules.
Right, and he doesn't know this. Dapper Dan said it best, and I just heard this the other day. He said, you can't be in it and not of it. You want to be in the fame game, but not be of it? Yeah. That means you care about what other people think, because all you trying to do is get that kind of attention and seeking it. It's a complex world, but once you choose it, you got to live in it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.